Hello, this is Steve, Dichroic Glass Man, and my latest channel on YouTube is Stained Glass Man US. Hey, thanks a lot for watching my videos. As always, I'm so grateful. But we're going to get into some crazy possibilities of where this dichroic glass is going that I'm creating now. Dichroic glass bevels and jewels. Check this out. This is just a couple of the possibilities that I've done, just out of stock bevels. You know, regular stuff like you see here, clear stuff. That's a clear jewel. But then once I turned it into dichro, as long as it's got a flat back, I can dichroic coat these guys. Jewels all day long. You want to see something incredible. Look at that. Green, magenta, aurora borealis. My favorite color of aurora borealis is green, magenta, blue. And I have an idea that these faceted jewels are going to be incredible done in green, magenta, blue. I can even do these jewels in pixie sticks. I can do them in cool lava. I could do it in fusion. I can do puzzles. Ooh, wow, puzzles would be really wild. That's one of the latest effects by CBS. I could be making faceted jewels puzzles effect for you guys. Anyway, I'm going to start getting it. I mean, there's so many possibilities of videos that it's going to be endless. I know you're going to get tired. I feel like I'm that Bob, what's that guy's name? That guy that died? The crazy guy. Can't remember what his name is. I wanted to say Bob Vila. No, what's that guy's name that died recently? That's that crazy salesperson that was on TV. Bumped his head. Oh, I don't remember what his name was. I feel like that's what I'm turning into, though, selling this dichroic stuff. But the possibilities are so incredible. Can you imagine this stuff in your windows, your creations? And then you start talking about the bevel clusters, or the pieces, the odds and ends from bevel clusters that you might have hanging around, that you've been saving in a box, waiting for that day when you come up with a cool creative idea. Well, geez, can you imagine doing them in dichro? Now I'm going to stray into another direction. I'm going to coat a hummingbird, and I'll lay it out in dichro. That's doable. Can you imagine seeing this bevel cluster done in dichro? I'm going to do it. I mean, that's doable. Let's put it that way. And as you can see, that's a pretty big bevel cluster, 10¼ by 32¾ 35 pieces. It's a pretty sharp bevel cluster. It's not an expensive one. It's not expensive like an American bevel cluster or Infinity or the newest, coolest bevel cluster in the world, bevel cluster line, Action Bevels. But can you imagine seeing this bevel cluster in about 6-7 different colors of dichro? I probably got enough dichro to do this. I'm kind of saving my dichro for doing all these jewels because I'm getting ready to, in bevels, because I'm getting ready to launch my new website. Got about 10-12 colors, and I got enough dichro to do a few hundred bevels and jewels, several hundred. But this is going to eat up a lot of dichro. And realistically, if somebody said, I want that in dichro, all those beveled pieces, all 35 pieces done in dichro, you're talking about, oh, I'm going to say 2.5 sheets of dichro it's going to take me for me to use to do this. You're talking about $300, maybe even $400. But if you put that into a front door, you might have a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 creation. So, you know, people spend a lot of money on just components when you're talking about using jewels, you know, faceted jewels that everybody's using, from gold pink to red to white or black. Can't see that white one on that, but you know, people are paying up to $10 for these. You throw 10, 20, 50 of them in a window. I've seen windows with hundreds of them in there. You're talking about doing a dragonfly lamp, a real one, real McCoy, and you're spending $200, $300, $400 for jewel sets. So can you imagine having this dichroic coated? You got to pay for the bevel, of course, and then I coat it with dichroic, and you talk realistically 6 colors in this, and you're probably in about a $300 range. I don't know. You know, it really needs to be calculated, measured up, but you're in the easily $350 range thereabouts. But you've got a bevel cluster. It's going to be worth over $1,000. You got to keep in mind, in its own industry, dichroic glass is worth $12 an inch. I've heard, anyway. Even more so when you're starting to talk about technical applications like dichroic ground lenses. You're talking real expensive possibilities now. When you're talking high optics coated in dichro, and they're done out there. Believe me, they're done. There's $1,000 lenses out there for the film industry, done in dichro. So when you're only talking 6-7 inch lens for $1,000, that $12 an inch went out the door. So this bevel, if you start adding up all these pieces at $12 an inch, I could probably appraise this bevel cluster for $2,000, because you got to keep in mind, stained glass is insurable, collectible, fine art. You do a stained glass window and you appraise yourself at a crazy amount of money here. This cluster here, well, I don't know how many square inches is in it. Really have to calculate it, kind of like squaring it up and then rounding it off, because you know, it's not gonna, the space here is not gonna be dichroic coated. But you're talking about a bevel cluster, it's going to be worth $1,500 or more. So you know, I'm being really elusive about quoting a price here, because you know, it just needs to be looked at. But what I want to do is give people the idea that there is absolutely endless possibilities of the custom dichroic that I'm able to do for folks, to supply you. Realistically, getting ready to start releasing the prices, and it's going to vary because there's going to be a tremendous amount of waste, scrap developed. And I'll be talking more about videos. I'm going to have hundreds more videos. But my price on dichroic coating is going to be higher on curves like this versus straight edges where you're doing this kind of stuff. Obviously, the waste factor here is not going to be as great. I'll dedicate a whole video to the explanation of straights versus curves, so you can appreciate what's going on. Trying to be very careful about my progress, my evolution in this dichroic project that I'm doing on my website, dichroicglassman.com, because there's so much information to grasp and to take in, to appreciate about dichroic glass, that kind of want to do it in steps to kind of bring people along. And I know there's people out there that are very educated that make me look infantile in the dichroic world. I've been doing dichroic glass for about 13-14 years, dichroic stained glass windows for that long, utilizing components like this. But you know, today, actually on my website, I'll be posting the progress, the evolution of CBS dichroics, when Fusion came out and all those other ones. I'm going to do a timeline. It's kind of interesting. So I haven't had some of these effects available 10-12 years ago. You know, nobody did, because they didn't have RBA. This is RBA, Rainbow A, RB2, or RBB, A, B, and C. They're different widths of lines. This is A. This is the narrowest. I really like that. Then this is Rainbow 2, and you can see already some of the color differences in the sheet. We'll be doing video on every aspect of dichroic glass as much as I can, because there's so much about dichroic that the world needs to know and appreciate. And thank you for watching my videos as always. Bye-bye.